This slow cooker chicken korma is a great family recipe to make in the crock pot or slow cooker. It's such an easy one to cook. Everyone will love it. It's packed full of flavour, but it's not too spicy, so it's a great one for everyone to enjoy. Here's how you make it. First of all, we want to make a marinade for the chicken. So I'm using chicken thighs just because they're a lot better in the slow cooker. And I'm just adding my spices to natural yogurt. So I've got some turmeric and some curry powder. Now I always use mild curry powder in a korma, but if you want it a bit hotter, you can use a medium or a hot one instead. It's completely up to you. Mix that up and then we're going to dunk the chicken in there, and we want to make sure the chicken is coated really nicely. Now ideally, if you have the time and you're thinking ahead, you can do this the night before. So you can actually put your chicken in the marinade and then cover it in cling wrap and pop it in the fridge overnight. And this will really help the flavours like seep into the chicken. But if you're anything like me, you probably forgot to do that. So I'm just literally mixing this up and then I'm going to chuck it straight in the slow cooker. Now I'll put a link to the full recipe in the description below. The recipe is on my website, so you don't have to worry about trying to work out the quantities from this video. But as you can see, I'm just chucking the chicken in, and note to self, don't use a rigid bowl like this, it makes life really difficult. So I'm chucking in some garlic and some ginger. I use frozen stuff, but you can use fresh or you can use paste. And then I've actually fried off the onions a little bit. So the original recipe, it is a kind of dump and go recipe. So you can literally just chuck the raw onions in and that's fine. But I had a bit of extra time, so I thought I'd just fry them off. Personally, I prefer the flavour, but it doesn't make a huge difference. So I added some salt in, and then we've got a bit of tomato puree. This just adds a really nice colour to the korma sauce. And then for the sweetness, kormas tend to be a little bit sweet, but instead of adding sugar, I've added some mango chutney, and we've got some ground almonds, which is going to help thicken that sauce. And finally, some gluten-free stock. Now, we don't want to add too much liquid, but I just poured this in, and you can find a list of gluten-free stock cubes on my blog because some stocks do contain gluten, so just make sure you're being careful if you need this recipe to be gluten-free. So once everything's in there, I'm just giving it a really good mix up, and then all I'm going to do is pop the lid on the slow cooker and leave it to work its magic. And as you can see, when you come back, it is looking delicious already, but it's not quite finished yet. So I'm going to add some double cream in. Now for me, a korma is rich and creamy, and double cream just really adds this. I wouldn't recommend single cream because it can curdle. And I'm just going to give this a really good stir. Now I actually normally add some desiccated coconut in at this point as well, although I don't think I actually had any when I was making this video, which is not helpful. And then if your korma is a bit wet, you can add a slurry of corn flour in. So you just need to literally mix a little bit of corn flour with some water. And again, the quantities are all below, so don't worry about trying to make it up. It is all in the blog post. Give it a good stir, pop the lid on, and then you're going to leave it for about half an hour. And as you can see, that has thickened up nicely. The corn flour just needs to get hot so that it can thicken the sauce, and now it's looking like a good, thick, delicious curry. So for the final touches, I'm adding some flaked almonds on top. These add a lovely crunch, and I'm going to also add some chopped coriander to mine, and then it's pretty much ready to serve. So with this recipe, you can batch cook this, and you can actually freeze portions ready for a night when you're too busy. You can serve it straight up with pilau rice and poppadoms and gluten-free naan breads. I've got a great recipe for those, which I will link down below. And yeah, that's basically how simple it is to make this gluten-free korma. It is the perfect family dinner, and it is just such an easy option for a good slow cooker meal. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I really hope you're enjoying the slow cooker recipes that I've been putting on my channel. If you want more slow cooker recipes, I have a ton of them on my blog, and I'm slowly working my way through adding them to my YouTube channel. So I will put all the links in the description down below. Let me know if you give this recipe a try or if there's anything else you want to see, and I'll catch you again in the next video.